Harris is now looking for ways to get out of her debate with Donald Trump. Top Democrat pollster Frank Luntz tells CNN exactly how Kamala Harris could win the election and also exactly how Donald Trump could win. As of this recording, Trump is winning with the betting sites, which may say more than the pollsters. Plus, Trump just made an announcement that could put a major target on his back. All of this and more in tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining me. Just days after Vice President Kamala Harris, I hope I don't say that, did her first interview with CNN, her campaign is already walking back statements she made. During the interview, she voiced a positive view of the Green New Deal by stating, "You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time." Now, despite giving clear support for the Green New Deal, as evidenced by stuffing green policy into the recently passed Inflation Reduction Act, Kamala's campaign stated she does not support the Green New Deal and only referenced it because her values have not changed. But if her values haven't changed and she liked it in the past, that means that she does support it now. So they're just using word salad to try to confuse us. Now, does anyone for a second believe that she has changed her mind on the Green New Deal? Let me know in the comments down below. I personally believe that they are going to try to push so much through during her time in office, it's going to make our heads spin. Now, the first presidential debate between Trump and Harris is just 1 week away. And according to NBC News, an inside source has claimed that Harris is actively practicing ways to rattle Donald Trump on live TV. This report coincides with Harris's attempt to have both candidates' mics unmuted during the debate. It's a bit sad that her main strategy seems to be piss off Donald Trump versus tell us how you're going to make life better, but I guess I'm not surprised. Now, when someone's main concern is making sure nothing of value is said, you should question that person's motive. Elon Musk, for one, has just claimed that if Harris is elected, free speech will cease to exist. Just look what's going on in Europe and also down in Argentina and Brazil. This has been evidenced by people such as Elon Musk and Meta's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, who have both exposed the Biden administration for trying to censor and control free speech on their platforms. People can claim Donald Trump is a conspiracy theorist all they want, but he may have been elected if Biden's administration didn't cover up stories ahead of the election. We have the CIA and Facebook and Twitter, well, old Twitter, to thank for that. These people are incredibly deceptive. They claim they are not trying to influence the election, yet do borderline illegal things in order to influence the election. Just look at the situation at the border. Representative Nancy Pelosi has practically just admitted she wants to flood the country with illegals. And why? Because, quote, "I would like to move them to being documented." So she admits the whole plan is to flood the United States of America with illegal immigrants and then make them legal immigrants that can vote Democrat for the next couple of decades. Now, this should be enough evidence on its own that allowing millions to cross illegally is part of their plan. It's not just bad policy or bad management. They know that by allowing migrants to vote, they will vote Democrat. Yet Donald Trump is the one facing a case of election interference charges. Give me a break. By the way, thank you guys for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. So thank you guys so much. All right. Now, speaking of election fraud, the United States has just seized the plane of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, the illegitimate president of Venezuela. I say illegitimate because the Biden administration has stated he manipulated the results of the last election in order to remain in power. While the seizure was apparently related to not following US sanctions, I'm sure stealing an election didn't help. The plane seized was worth $13 million and is reportedly equivalent to Air Force One. So this is a big deal. Now, remember when we were told elections are free and fair, and that the same software being used in Venezuela had nothing to do with America? Now the Biden administration is saying, oh, wait a minute, we think you guys stole the election down in Venezuela. I mean, the hypocrisy is just crazy, right? Now, a spokesperson for the U.S. National Security Council commented on Nicolas Maduro, stating, over the past month, as demonstrated by a wide variety of independent sources, Nicolas Maduro and his representatives have tampered with the results of the July 28th presidential election, falsely claimed victory, and carried out widespread repression to maintain power by force. Now, wait a minute. Did the Biden administration recognize this? Because this is exactly what they did in America. As states continue to loosen restrictions on marijuana use, President Trump has endorsed legislation in Florida which would legalize a limited amount of personal use. Trump defended his decision by stating, we do not need to ruin lives and waste taxpayer dollars arresting adults for personal amounts of it on them, and no one should grieve a loved one because they died from fentanyl-laced marijuana. So Trump is actually stirring up a lot of conversation by stating, listen, I don't personally believe in marijuana, but if someone has a little bit, there's no reason they should go to jail, and there's absolutely no reason to waste American taxpayer dollars. All right, now I have some big stories for you, but first, today's show sponsor. Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is over. Along with hiring thousands of new IRS agents, the IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending out over 5 million pay up or else letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with the IRS on your own. They are not your friend. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible with the IRS. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Now, whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay or you are on a fixed income, they can help you finally resolve your tax burden once and for all. I want you to call 800-958-1000 for a free private consultation, or visit tnusa.com/Gardner. They are the best in the business, which is why I work with them. Go check them out right now. Okay, now listen to this. CNN had on one of their top election pollsters, a guy by the name of Frank Luntz, and he lays out exactly what Kamala Harris could do to win the election. He then lays out exactly what Donald Trump needs to do to win the election. Let me roll that and let's react to it together.
Box as they try to get as many votes as they can ahead of November.
Yeah, Frank Luntz, the top line of that poll was that nationally, Harris has a small lead over Trump. It was 50 to 46. She did not get a post-convention bump in that poll. Are you surprised by that? And what do you say to what Harris just said, that they believe they are the underdogs?
I don't think that really matters. I think what matters are the two issues that the public says they prioritize in this election, which is affordability, not inflation, but affordability of food and fuel, housing and health care, and the idea that that's gotten worse over the last 3 years, not better, and immigration, which is basically an issue of personal security.
All right, so the two big I's, right? Inflation and immigration. But he's saying the key word for this election is affordability. Is life more affordable under Kamala Harris, or is life more affordable under Donald Trump? Whoever can convince the most people of that is going to win the election. He also has some other ideas.
And safety, and whether the border is controlled or not. She, Vice President Harris, has a clear advantage in personality. If this is an election about who you trust, who you have confidence in, who you like, she wins clearly. If this is an election about policy, about where things have gone over the last 3.5 years and where they're headed, Donald Trump has the advantage. The problem with the Trump campaign is that the candidate himself is actually undermining that message with personal attacks that voters don't like. The challenge with Harris is that she walks into a union hall and doesn't address the two issues that union people prioritize the most.
All right, so he makes a really great point. There are a lot of Americans that are turned off by Donald Trump's bombastic New York-style personality. He's saying if it comes down to personality, just like with Biden, they're going to choose the calmer, easier to talk about person. But if it comes down to policy, and Donald Trump will stick to policy instead of name calling, he is going to win because Kamala Harris has no policies. Donald Trump has lots of incredible policies. He needs to stick to the policies.
I've done a fair amount of polling within the union community, and there is definitely a split. Government unions and teachers unions absolutely support Harris by significant margins. But the trades, the people who work with their hands, are evenly split between the Democrats and the Republicans. Republicans have never seen that before. She walked into ground zero. Everything she said was effective, but she missed the two issues that matter most. And in the end, at least in the debate, she's going to have to address them.
All right. Well, it's a very interesting moment on the campaign trail and certainly the beginning of what is going to be a busy week for both sides out there in those battleground states. Thanks to you all for your thoughts today.
Okay, so basically, Donald Trump needs to stick with, I will make life better for you. And then he needs to lay out all of the ways he's going to make life better. Even if she steals those ideas, he needs to get them out to the American people first, and he will win. But if he goes into the debate with attack after attack after attack on her crazy sexual history, on her last 3.5 years, he just needs to really dial in. Was life better financially under Trump or better financially under Harris? If he can communicate that message, I believe he is going to win. All right, well, I knew this was going to happen. The first U.S. fighter jet finally made it to Ukraine. The pilot was there, all fully trained. And within 24 hours, Russia shot them down. He is dead. The plane or jet is destroyed. I also knew that attacking Russia inside of Mother Russia was going to be like poking a bear. And Russia has just made their most deadly attack in many, many months. 2 Russian ballistic missiles hit a military institute and also a hospital in a central Ukrainian city, killing 51 and injuring 271 in the deadliest strike in 2024. Now, I told you that this was going to happen, that Russia is not going to put up with being attacked. They're just simply not going to. Now, I'm not for Russia and I'm not against Ukraine, but Putin has been extremely measured based on the amount of pressure that he's getting from other Russian leaders that have said, wipe Ukraine off the map. And he keeps saying, no, they're going to come and they're going to negotiate with us. But nobody is showing up. Now, with Ukraine attacking into Russia with NATO's permission, Vladimir Putin is beginning bigger and bigger attacks on bigger cities in Ukraine. And he can hit them from far distances because of his hypersonic missiles and his ballistic missiles. And the Russian people are now telling Vladimir Putin, it's time to destroy Ukraine. They are attacking Mother Russia. In fact, the attack was so big that according to Colonel Douglas Macgregor, NATO leaders are now telling NATO nations, including Ukraine, do not shoot down Russian missiles. Just let the damage happen, and then let's try to end this. What they are worried is that by NATO giving permission for Ukraine to attack into Russia, that they have awakened a sleeping giant. Remember, Russia's military continues to grow by about 30,000 new people every single month. That's 1,000 a day. And Ukraine is shrinking by hundreds a day. Russia has more firepower and more manpower. So now NATO is saying, oops, I think we've made a huge mistake, and we need to stop attacking into Russia and just let Russia attack and then get it out of their system, and we'll be done. Now, Colonel Douglas Macgregor, who I'm not able to get on my show in the near future, also shared on Twitter today that the country of Turkey, a NATO nation, has just asked Russia for permission to apply to the BRICS nations. Now, this could be Turkey signaling that they are done with the United States, that they are done with NATO, and that they are done with the US dollar. They want to have an alliance with Russia. They see Russia as a better option. Now, Putin also spent time in Mongolia today, where he and the president of Mongolia agreed to deepen their trade relationships with metals, with natural gas, with oil, with gold. Now, the International Crimes Court was furious with the president of Mongolia for not having Vladimir Putin arrested for war crimes. But Mongolia said, he's committed no war crimes in Mongolia. We're not going to arrest somebody that we want to do serious business with. So the ICC, or International Crimes Court, they are furious at Mongolia for not arresting Vladimir Putin, as this is one of the first times he's left Russia in a big way. So they are just absolutely furious with Mongolia and also Vladimir Putin. All right, now this is interesting. Democrats continue to outraise Republicans by huge margins. It's like all of a sudden Democrats have raised $500 million to elect Kamala Harris, but now now Harris is using $20 million to help get other Democrats in the House and the Senate elected. This is the most a presidential candidate has spent outside of themselves in almost 2 decades, leading some to believe that Kamala is giving money out just in case she loses in order to hamstring a new future President Donald Trump. However, others are saying that Kamala Harris is giving money to 20 big speakers so that they can go out and speak and campaign on her behalf so that she doesn't have to go in front of the press. Like, she's literally that scared that she would rather give out money to people that will go speak on her behalf. I'm not sure what the answer is, but again, Politico put out this news piece saying something's going on with the Kamala presidential run. She's giving out tens of millions of dollars for down ballot elections. All right, now in some international news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has just claimed that he has requested forgiveness from the families of those who were killed shortly after a hostage rescue attempt was scheduled to take place. In regards to the next step, Netanyahu told CNN, we're going to have an exact heavy price for Hamas. I'm not going to tell you what that price is going to be and what we're going to do. There's going to be an element of surprise. So basically, Netanyahu said, I am sorry to the families that lost somebody. And also, there's about to be a massive revenge attack from Israel, and no one is going to see what's coming. Now, with that being said, it currently appears all hope for a ceasefire has come to an end. But wait a minute, wasn't Biden telling us any day now we're going to get that ceasefire any day now? As further proof, Israeli media site NNET has claimed that Israel is setting up an army unit to monitor Gaza for the next couple of years. The article read, the Israeli army began yesterday through this appointment to accept the fact that it's responsible for the Gaza Strip. And this will continue for years and will expand. And about 2 million Palestinians will remain under Israeli control. So basically they're saying, listen, we're unable to get this situation under control. The only way to control Hamas is to control the region that Hamas controls. All right, now lastly, Donald Trump may have just put the biggest target yet on his own back. He committed today on the Lex Friedman podcast to releasing all of the names of those that are associated with Jeffrey Epstein. We're talking millionaires, billionaires, political people, business owners, CEOs of major corporations, lawyers. Donald Trump committed that he will release all of these names, names like Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, etc. Donald Trump said, isn't it strange that those names haven't been released? Lex Friedman said, would you consider releasing those? Donald Trump said, you know, the JFK files are much easier to release because all of those people are dead. But the Epstein, that's harder because many of them are still alive. But he then said he is inclined to release all of those names once he gets back into office. Now, I promise you, the FBI and the CIA, they have been working overtime to bury these names. And so by him saying this out loud, I believe he probably just put another target on his back with the intelligence agencies, but only time will tell. This just came out today. All right, that's my update for today. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to check out today's earlier video where Mark Cuban eats humble pie as people say Donald Trump is the better candidate between he and Kamala Harris. Also, Stephen A. Smith absolutely rips Kamala Harris a new one. I'll put it right here after this live is over. Thank you guys for giving this video a like. I love you. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.